Hey everybody, I hope you're doing well. Once again, thank you so much for opening up this video. As you know, it means a lot to me. Today I'm going to be talking about why I believe it's more important to focus on persistency rather than failure. And here's what I mean by that. So say you have a goal, whatever it is. Say you want to become an NBA basketball player. Now I don't know much about basketball, but let's just say your goal is to become an NBA basketball player. You want to be like the next LeBron or one of those guys, right? And let's just say that you go in and you're practicing every day with the team, and one day you get cut from the team, or you have a really bad game, you miss a lot of shots, your team does bad, and people start blaming you. Are you in that moment? Are you going to focus on the fact that you absolutely sucked in that moment, or that you messed up? Are you going to focus on the fact that you have a goal and that no matter what happens, you are going to constantly work towards that goal? And you should definitely pick the latter choice, because I feel like this is something that a lot of us experience in our lives, where we have this kind of a goal, right? And we're so focused on it. We're so hyper focused on it, which is so good. But then the moment when something goes wrong, or when things don't go the way that we want them to go, or when we feel that something happens that it's unfair, despite all the work we've been putting in, we tend to give up and just completely forget about that goal that we've been having our whole lives. And I can completely relate to this in so many aspects. This has happened to me with, one of them is, it's a little personal, not too personal, but it was swimming. I remember that I used to be on the swim team, right? And it was especially in middle school, and I was in the lowest level for my age group, but it didn't mean that we were bad. It's just like we were the lowest level among those on the team. And what happened is that I put in a lot of work, and I remember I would go into class and I would swim with the team and everything. But then even after, I would work on my conditioning a lot. Like when I was by myself at home, I know swimmers don't do this a ton, but I was doing a lot of push-ups, but I also jump roped, and I would even go to the gym just to practice and go to the pool and just practice extra swimming, just get in more laps. And what I noticed is that I still continued to fail. You know, I would go to the team, I wouldn't get that much recognition from the coaches. And when the season ended and I found out the results of what group I was going to be placed in, I found out that I was going to be put in the same group again, despite all the work that I put in. And in that moment where I could have decided to keep working hard and continue to persevere, I decided to give up on my goal of becoming a lot better at swimming, or maybe taking it a lot more seriously, or becoming part of one of those higher ranked teams. And now, in hindsight, that I look back on it, I am grateful for the experience of failing, but I'm not grateful for how I responded to that. I feel like a true winner or a truly successful person would understand the importance of persevering no matter how many times you fail. I read in a book that when you're at that point where you make a big failure, that's actually the point. It's like a blessing in disguise. It's like the point right before you actually make that successful goal come true, or that dream that you've been having come true. There's normally going to be some giant obstacle that you have to overcome, or some big failure that's going to happen, or some big mess up or slip up. But if you keep persevering through that, you will soon find that successful part of your life, because I've learned that success and just getting places isn't linear. And this leads me to my second example, the martial arts. I've been doing the martial arts my whole life since I was little, and then I started up taking Muay Thai specifically 2 years ago. So I switched from Taekwondo, which I've been doing since I was little, to Muay Thai, and then I started taking that even more seriously than I had before. It was like an addiction, and it still is. You know, I'd go to class, I'd spend time after, I would show up before class, I would be there in class, and then I'd stay later after class, and then I would go home, and then I would do more hours by myself. Like, it was crazy. Like, if I couldn't go one day, didn't matter. I was going to work really hard on the bag at home, putting in all that shadow boxing. I knew for a fact that among all the people in my class, I was putting in the most work. But, you know, there were things that were holding me back. It was my junior year, and my parents didn't let me go too much to the MMA gym and practice Muay Thai as much. And this year, they're letting me go, like, a lot more, because it's my senior year, so it's a lot easier. But despite this, I put in a lot of hours, even the days that I couldn't go, even last year. And this year, I'm putting in more work than ever. And what I noticed is that there would be these newbies that would come in, And within 2 or so months, they would become better than me. They would be rocking me in the ring. There was this one guy I knew, and within a month, he was like landing some shots that could have knocked me out if he wanted to go a little harder. And I was like, why the hell is this happening? Why is it that I'm putting in so much freaking work? And then all these people just come in, and it's like a month after they start, they're already able to whoop my ass. And I noticed that it hurt a lot, but what I noticed is that despite all of that, I continued to persevere because I realized there are so many things that I've done in my life. I've tried swimming, I've tried soccer, I've tried basketball, I've tried skiing, and all those things I always half-assed it and I always gave up. I thought I was working my hardest and giving it my all, but I didn't. I would half-ass it, and when something went wrong, I gave up. But with this martial arts journey, I knew that this is a passion of mine, and no matter what, I'm never going to give up. There was this one time I got rocked in just a sparring match, but I got rocked, and I was like knocked out for a couple seconds, and I was terrified the rest of the day. I wasn't feeling well, my head wasn't feeling good. I felt all messed up, and I was contemplating just giving up on becoming a fighter, or just fighting or doing something like that. But a part of me knew that if I would give up, I would regret it for the rest of my life. And because of that, I continued to persevere and I never gave up on my goal. And just recently, I'm starting to notice more recognition from my coaches. My coaches tell me I'll probably be ready for like a smoker, like an exhibition match in January or February. So for the very first time after all this work, I'm starting to notice results. And I want you to know this isn't something that happened instantly. There might be people that hear about this achievement of mine and they're thinking, oh, he's just lucky, he's a natural. But no, people don't notice all of the hours of work that has to be put in to actually achieve a goal. Had it not been for all of those hundreds of hours that I'd spent by myself working on the bag, studying fight footage, practicing my technique, working on my conditioning, running on that treadmill, getting those push-ups in, constantly sparring, or constantly practicing pads with one of my family members, I wouldn't have gotten to that point. It was only after all of those arduous hours of hard work, pain, sweat and tears that I actually made it. And I am proud to say that I persevered the whole time. And this story serves as a message for all of you that no matter the situation in your life, or no matter where you end up, the most important thing that you can do for yourself is persevering. You shouldn't focus on that one failure that happens in your life, because no matter who you are and no matter what you're going through, you are always going to go through some sort of a failure. You're going to face a setback. Something is going to go wrong. Life isn't perfect, and you yourself are imperfect. You're going to slip up, but what matters is how you respond to that and whether you continue to persevere or not, instead of giving up in that moment. That's my message for you today, and I hope that you guys will have a great rest of your day. Thank you for watching this video.